guys, Marmalade here. Welcome to Q&A number 29, or what I like to call Just Ask Marmalade. Hope everybody's doing well, especially what's going around the world right now, and hopefully this is a good distraction and we'll learn something together. So let's get to question number one. All right, so question number one is from David E. What's your plan for acclimating to the altitude since you live at sea level and are planning to start right into the Sierras from Kennedy Meadows south? Are you going to do some trips to Mount San Jacinto or spend time in other high places in the weeks leading up to June 20th? That is a great question. I may, now that I think about it, depending on how I'm feeling too health-wise, I may go up to Mount San Jacinto. If you guys don't know, that's above Ottawa, just off the PCT. The peak is 10,834 feet, so it's pretty high. I've been there 4 or 5 times. I can go from the Palm Springs side, and it's not as far, but it's fairly good elevation and steepness, so it's a good workout. So I may do that, but I really don't have any plans to. I've never had quote unquote with any problems with elevation sickness, but it's because when I've gone to the Sierras and done my weekend trips and stuff, I go a day before and I kind of acclimate. My plan is to answer your question when we start on 20th to start finishing the rest of my through hike this year. My plan is to go a day or two early and camp there and just get used to it. It's 6,150 feet at Kennedy Meadows, and I just kind of was looking at the Gut Hooks app to look at because I know you climb elevation right off the bat when you leave Kennedy Meadows, and so you start at mile marker right around 700ish, and you kind of peak out early on at about mile 724. So within 24 miles, you go from 6,150 up to about 10,300 feet. So that's a little over 4,000 feet, but over 24 miles. So what I like about that is it kind of naturally acclimates you to it just because it's gradual, because you're walking. A lot of people that do Mount Whitney drive right up to the portal and they're already instantly up high, and then they start their hike because they only have like a day permit or whatever, and they get sick. But I so far have not had a problem with it, but I know you can get it any time, so I'm not naive about it. But my plan is, like I said, just to go in a day or two early and then get going, but hopefully be adjusted to it. All right, question number 2 is from Brett Knoll. Which is harder, Nobo or Sobo on the PCT? So I have yet to complete one way or the other, so I don't know. You know what's funny about that question? I've never heard anybody actually say which is harder physically. So I don't know how to answer that. I don't know how big the elevation changes going north or south. Going north, which about 85-90% of the people do, starting on the Mexico border. There are a lot of big mountains in the desert, but it starts out kind of slow, so it kind of works your way into it. When you go Sobo, the mountains in Washington are no joke. You instantly start going up and down big mountains, and it's kind of a tough way to start your hike because most people are not in through hiking shape, of course. So yeah, I mean, but I guess you get Washington out of the way quick, you know. So maybe, I don't know if that's better or worse. I think it's all personal preference. I think where the trail is tougher going Sobo is, or I'll say it the other way around, why it's maybe better going Nobo in a lot of ways, is the water caches, the trail magic, people picking you up is more set up for northbounders. It's gradually shifting more for southbounders, but all these towns that know about us and depend on us, we bring a lot of money to their hotels and restaurants and stores, are used to seeing northbounders. They know when they start. Whoa, hold on. All right, that was a wind gust, sorry about that. But to continue, when you go northbound, there's about a roughly 2-month window everybody starts. That bubble does get spread out for faster and slower hikers, but that 2.5 month bubble goes through every section as they're going north. So the water caches are set up overall for northbounders. They're starting to keep water year round in them for southbounders. And you know, when you go through towns, it's mostly set up for northbounders. So I think just making your life easier and maybe a little more enjoyable is more predicated for northbounders, but southbounders is becoming more popular. And one thing I learned was last year with all that snow, southbound was the year to go southbound last year. So a lot of times which way you go, you should be open to it depending on the weather. So, and the southbounders start in July 1st, you know, and spring for the northbounders. So I kind of answered your question. I hope that helps. All right, question number 3 from Terry Savini. I've noticed some hikers using different stakes in addition to the ones that originally came with their tents. Why would a hiker want something different? And what should a person be looking for in a good tent stake? So that is an interesting question. And really, I don't know if there's a set answer because tents and tent stakes are all personal preference and what you do and don't like. I mean, we see more of like the MSR groundhogs around, but it's kind of random. Some people could care less about stakes. What I found out with my old tent, my Big Agnes Tiger Wall UL2, and with my new Altaplex by Z-Packs, is that at least on my old tent, I had 6 main tie outs that took the brunt of the weight and kept it stable and erect. And that was the 4 corners and the 2 vestibules. On my new tent, I only have 1 door, so it's the 1 door, the back, and then it's kind of like 3 or 4 more corners to keep it stabilized. So both tents actually have 6 main tie-offs that you can do the tent with just 6. And if you want to do it all the way and complete and more taut, you can use 10 stakes. So what I found was I got sturdier, better, what I consider better stakes that held the weight and the pressure of the tent better for the 6 main tie-offs. And then the other 4, I actually carry 6, so 2 extras in case I lose some, because I have. Are very light, skinny, V-shaped aluminum ones. So they do the job, but they don't have they don't take the brunt of the weight of the tent. So I don't need as big of a stake or whatever. I just got Easton Nano stakes that I'll show you a picture of here. And they are for my main tie-offs. And then, like I said, the V-stake, if I can find a picture, I'll put one here. These are just truly just to keep the tent in place and taut, things like that. So I think you should just try it out. Like most time that, depending on what you're doing, I don't think most of the gear and the stakes are meant for through hikes or meant for weekend warriors. But it's kind of a process of elimination. Just try things till you find what you like. But that's what I'm using currently. So yeah, I have 6 stronger ones and then 4 lighter ones. All right, our next question is from Rick Blevins Jr. How much cash did you carry? So this is actually kind of important because I carried, I would say if I had to guess, probably $40 or $50 low up to $200 cash. And why you want this is you are going through a lot of very small towns. Like the place I got off in Skycomish was a town of 200 people where I got hurt and got off the trail. And sometimes some of these small towns, sometimes their credit card machines are down or not accepting, and it's because they're in the middle of nowhere and it takes them a while to get them fixed and all that. So it's good to have some cash on you if you want to pay for food or meals or your resupply or a hotel. So yeah, I always carried about, I would say, $50 to $200. Okay, our last question is from Laura Hubbard. Question about CBD. How do you plan to take this on the trail with you? Do you take the capsules or you take the oil? Other options I haven't thought of. So I'm glad you asked that. I have the oil. I brought the kind I have. It's a bottle of 1,500 milligrams. So it all depends on what sizes you buy, but how much you take depending on maybe the amount of pain you have. I've told you guys I'm probably 70 to 80% better. I still have a lot of pain in my knees, my shoulder joints, and my hands and wrists are bad. And so that's where the remaining pain is. So I was taking close to 200 milligrams. I'm taking 100 milligrams, so I'm not going through it as fast now. But I have 2 bottles of 1,500 milligram that last a month. I take, this has a dropper top. I take 2 full dropper lengths in the morning and 2 in the night. So that's 50 milligrams and 50 milligrams, so 100 a day. And I'm actually ordered, I haven't gotten it yet, I'm actually going to pick it up after I film this for my son. I also ordered, I have a resupply coming of that, and also some topical pain removing cream I'm going to try on my hands and my shoulders and knees and stuff. So I'm going to see if that works. It's worth it. It's kind of like a wintergreen, I guess, smell and smell to it. So that's what I'm gonna try. If you guys are interested, I told you this, I'm not pushing on you or anything, but if you think it would help you, I talked to the owner of the company himself. If you're interested, just message me below here, and I don't want to give his number and name out here, but if you message me, I'll give you my email and you can message me there. I'll give you his name and number, and he's the most knowledgeable guy I've ever spoken to, and you can tell him what your issues are and let him know you heard about me here. So but I think the main thing is that with the oil, you don't want to be exposed to extreme cold or heat. So like I have a first aid bag, I'll put it in there and then pack it in my bag. I mean, I can keep like cheese cold all day in my pack when it's packed in there, so I can keep that in there. And at night, if it's really cold, I'll probably put my the oil in the foot box of my my quilt, where I put my electronics and things like that. So that's my plan right now. And then I haven't thought a lot about it, but I've talked to the owner about this, and on the trail I'll probably just order it a couple weeks before I need it and ship it to myself ahead somewhere. So that's really the plan right now. They are glass bottles. They're not super heavy even when they're full, and then obviously as you take it, it gets lighter. But yeah, so I mean, it was probably weighs 4 ounces, 3 ounces. But so that's what I do. That's my plan right now. Unless something changes, that's my plan. I plan on trying to take it through the whole trail if I can. All right, that's it for the questions. I thought they were good, didn't you? I want to say something real quick. I've had some people that are and are not going to be doing their through hikes this year, and they're from other countries, and they wanted me to kind of answer questions about what I think about people coming from with what's going on with the virus, you know, the bans and this and that. And honestly, I've been out. Actually, I'm getting ready to produce a video. I went out Saturday and Sunday and hiked on the PCT and saw a lot of through hikers, and it was really cool to be amongst other hikers. And I think the video is going to come out great, so look for that. It's just a training video. But I haven't been around to see the bands and everything's changing so fast. I am not caught up. So what I want to do is, for those of you who asked me, I'm going to do it. I'll try to do it next Tuesday. I won't promise you, but I'm going to try. But I want to get more educated and look at everything. So I have an opinion on stuff, but I want to make sure I understand where the bands are and are not. And obviously this could change in another week, but I want to do that. So just so you know, I'm going to address it, but I just want to, like I said, get a little more knowledge before I speak. But that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope everybody's doing well and is healthy. As always, please check out the links below in my description box for my Patreon and my Patreon page and my merch site. It's a way of supporting me to either get gear or just for my savings to go on this hike so I can make it this June. I start June 20th again. Canadian Metals, like I said, and every single dollar goes towards gear or my savings to go on this hike, so it really is appreciated help. So please check those out if you have time. And lastly, lots more questions. I asked for them last time and I started getting them, so a lot more questions you have. It could be anything, and I'd love to try to answer them for you either next week or the next. So leave those below, and I think that's it. So thank you so much for watching as usual, and until next time, we'll see you down the trail.